Hey friends, welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. We are checking in Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising is the most dominant in this session today. But for any Pisces placement, what I wanted to connect into as we get started is talk about this full moon in Libra. So we'll connect into the energy. I'll pull some cards and see what comes through in terms of, some key messages and themes and potential significance for you at this time. Now with this full moon, it is a pink moon and it is opposing or opposite, right now we're in Aries season. So Libra is opposite Aries in the astrological chart. So this is really, I think a time of looking at independence versus, who you're bringing with you on the journey. So there could be some things that do show up where, an energy, a situation, a partnership, or someone that you're working with that can be unsettling at times. Things may come up about that if it's been, kind of riding the course, see where it's going. Maybe sometimes you've been biting your tongue, haven't been speaking up. Maybe, this energy brings that up, and maybe it allows you to kind of confronted it in a way of, how do we level this up rather than keep, playing at this same beat, because Libra is also about that balance and the harmony, and it's also has, a pretty firm but also diplomatic energy with it. We do have Jupiter T-square here right now, or the lunation, it's T-squaring with Jupiter and Cancer. So this does add a little bit of an emotional intensity, potentially around the home front and with close people to you right now. So a lot of things that may need to show up and be highlighted to you again that you've been ignoring could be the case, as well as we have Venus in Taurus squaring Pluto. So Venus rules the moon, of Libra. Now, if it's squaring to Pluto, it's kind of this death and rebirth habit, or, the idea of what kind of needs to be ended to awaken, So you might just have some moments throughout the week where there is a little bit of a power struggle, again, with am I in it, am I not in it? And what this means for you. We do have Mercury direct in Pisces, which is great because it's just stationed direct. So any foggy energy has and will be kind of lifted here. So I think it's just having more conversations that you need to have. And then we do have Saturn and Neptune in Aries at the moment. So these are, pretty heavy hitters near the sun, adding a bit of reality check to where you want to go, where you want to be, and like I said, who you want to do it with. And this is long term. So, as a Pisces, this is going to look more so at your health as well as your subconscious patterns. And just to release, any habits that kind of drain your energy. All right. So let's get into it, Pisces. I hope that's just given you a little peekaboo on what this is about. For you right now, we do have your first energy in the current situation showing up. We've got rest and rejuvenation. Let's see what's crossing this. What is crossing this energy? Thank you, Spirit, for our Pisces. Ooh. And for those of you who have booked in readings, the last ones will be done in the next day or so. So look out in your inbox for those. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Crossing this, we've got envy energy. Interesting. Okay, let's dive in a little bit more. Let's see what's influencing this right now. We've got deceit and magician and the mirror. Past impacting. We've got strategy. Let's have a look at what's in your headspace. We've got a bit of anxiety going on. We'll dive into that. Near future. We've got storm warning. Your power in this situation. We've got patience energy. What's going on around you? We have, let's have a look at hopes and fears. We've got the thinking woman. Ooh, walking away. Okay. And let's have a look at the potential outcome. And then we'll jump in, Pisces. Potential outcome. Thank you, Spirit. we have got the 6th chakra. I feel this one wanted to come out, and action. Okay. Let's get into this, Pisces, and yeah, and see what Spirit also wants to reveal here with this. So again, just remember this is a general read. Take only what resonates. Trust your intuition with this, guys, okay? So rest and rejuvenation. There is, I feel, a part here of, I think, wanting to connect within, Pisces. This seems to be, again, of where you want to go next is what's coming through with this energy. And the rest and rejuvenation could be taking a quiet moment to reassess something here right now. It doesn't necessarily mean healing. Maybe some of you feel, you know, you need to take some time away from a situation to heal certain parts of you. But it just seems more of a reassessment in terms of this energy. And a part of this reassessment has something to do with the way something or someone is viewed. And what I mean by this, with this envy energy, it's usually, sometimes it can be ourselves, but sometimes it can be people near us or closest to us, or, you know, have some cause and effect to how we feel or how we see the world, okay? Because this energy is talking about being in a place of, you know, not feeling potentially accomplished, or feeling like the things that you have right now or that you're in right now just seem a bit gloomy. But when you look out, everything just looks amazing. And it's kind of a little bit potential victim mentality, or again, just, you know, envy can be, I think it's great to, you know, see potential, see what's out there, possibility. But it's kind of like the grass is greener on the other side. But it can also be to not being stuck in a place where you're not doing anything about it, or being stuck in a place with energies, situations, or people that are just weighing you down. Only you're going to know which part and which situation connects here, but it's what's challenging or putting you in a place of reassessment, or asking you to look at and reassess, being really important here right now. And it's, you know, that's kind of what this full moon energy is also about, the releasing of that, the recognition of that, you know, this push and pull energy of going and doing things and creating things that you want to create, but also trying to maintain some balance and harmony in the mix of letting go of those things that are keeping you behind. Now, influencing this, you do have the deceit energy and magician and the mirror. So this can be sometimes something not seeming what it seems. And what I mean by that, you know how sometimes when we feel like we're manifesting, or, you know, the over excess part of wanting to manifest, and there's strong desire, and it's like, but it's not happening, it's not moving, it's not happening. There's something going on here. Either there's someone here as a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I think that's going to resonate for some of you. And then there's this other part of overzealous, over activity, just overness. This is what it is, the energy. It's kind of like being really over, like doing too much of something that it's just not allowing to breathe and open up here. Because there's this, could be trying to control the manifestation, and that doesn't work, you know. Overworking it. There's something being overworked is what it feels like around this manifestation, or something that you've called in and it's not exactly what it should be or should look like, or it seems like that's what it looks like, but it's not. There's a little, I feel a little bit of trickster energy here, okay? So just be really careful with this. Now, as we're coming through here, the past impacting currently right now, you know, so something that you've either kind of had planned or have been working on, or had some form of direction here. This is where people have potentially come together to work on something. It's number 21, number 3. This to me is kind of like a 3 of Pentacles energy in some regard. So people working together, coming together, working towards a plan. This could also even be, you know, the 3 of Wands energy. It's like, what are we doing next? So I feel like there's been some plans or some attribution towards something that you've been wanting to kind of go after, and that's part of this reflection here. So if you have been challenged about making a decision about what's next, because anxiety is usually about the unknown, right? If we get in a place of sadness, depression, things like that, that can be a lot about you know, what we're feeling when it comes to, hang on, I need to just charge this thing. What's going on? It can be a lot to do with the sadness, the depressive sometimes feeling is a lot to do with where we've been and feeling stuck in the past. The anxiety is the unknown, the trauma, the PTSD sometimes of the unknown, but it's our nervous system talking to us in some way of not feeling safe, okay? So I feel like whatever's going on right now, there's a bit of a stir of what's next. And something here could be, you know, you could be quite connected to, because we do have the storm warning energy. It's a number 10. It's kind of like that wheel turning. But sometimes, you know, for the sky to clear and to open up, there's usually something's going to make us pay attention, or some work we've got to do before that kind of overcast energy is over. So I'm going to break down into that in a little bit. But what Spirit's asking in terms of your power in this situation is understanding the power of balance and motion and timing. That is a key component here. So while things may be challenging you, I think you may be challenged emotionally in some regard. Storm, also water energy, but again, something stirring here, Pisces, and you're obviously feeling it, and could be why you're assessing something feels a little bit off, or you're feeling a little bit challenged around a situation. Timing is a key factor, and what's really interesting with this wheel, it's on fire, and if I look at the wheel is also the 10, change, destiny. So I feel like there's something really important happening here, and if you're feeling stuck right now, I feel this is kind of, yes, on purpose, but also, yeah, I do feel this is on purpose, and I'm going to share why in a second. Because your hopes and fears is this thinking woman energy and walking away. So it seems like you want to move away from something. This, again, decision making, Libran energy, air energy, wanting to make a decision, but wanting to make a decision to explore, to go towards the light. It's kind of like this light in the timing. Maybe you're feeling like, is this the right time? Questioning if it's the right time. Maybe it feels a bit unsteady. You're not sure what to do here. But I'm going to tell you why this is quite imperative to where you're going and what you're doing next. If something is coming up for you and you're feeling challenged about it, a bit nervous about it, what are those trigger points that gets you into that energy? And I'm pausing here for a moment because I feel that's something that's important to consider. You know, I had someone close to me recently, you know, they split with their three-year partner, and, you know, they felt it was the right thing to end the relationship because, you know, I think someone had expressed what their desire was, and, you know, some form of, you know, if we're building this and we're creating this life together, you know, shouldn't we be spending time together? Shouldn't we be doing these things? Shouldn't we be doing more plans? But they were just prioritizing everything else except this person. And, you know, they talked about it and there was just no effort made. And they just felt, you know what, it's time to kind of, let's call it quits. But they really cared about each other. There was no animosity or, in a sense of like something terribly wrong, but it just wasn't right, if that makes sense. And the amount of emotion and sadness, and then questioning, oh, should I just get back with them? Should I just get back with them? You know, and it was trying to understand why. And that's, you know, sitting down, ask me what to do. And I think there is the question, why? Why did you make the decision initially? To remind yourself of that, but also when these trigger points are coming up, when this doubt is coming up, when the anxiety is coming up, when this massive emotion and waves are coming up, the question is, what is triggering that? And all it does is identify it, to be aware of it, okay? Because sometimes it's just our inner world being scared of what's next, or our inner world feeling alone, or our inner world like we're not good enough, like something of that nature. And I think it's just important to know that as a person, because it allows us to to go, okay, I hear that's what you're trying to say to me, spirit, but it's not your spirit. It's the parts of you that, you know, just want to be loved and want to be cared for and want to, you know, feel connected and happy and free and, again, loved. That's what it comes down to. So when you can identify that more, because when we sit in an energy of, oh my God, did I make the right decision? Did I do this? Did I do that? And constantly go down this rabbit hole of worry, it causes more stress. And then we end up, you know, things stir. Sometimes there is this energy of what's feeling triggered, and it could be, oh my God, when that person came near me, it just, they weren't, all these things made me feel massively uncomfortable within myself. Pay attention to that. There's different triggers for different reasons, and sometimes it's not necessarily what it seems, okay? Because I feel like there is something here that is stirring. So what is this energy that's having an impact on your system, or what are these thought processes? Okay, there's something important for somebody here with that. Amongst it, as I said, there is this part of wanting to go a new direction. Walking away could be walking away from someone, from something, an assessment that's happening, but maybe not having the courage to do the thing you want to do because you're a bit nervous. What if you get it wrong? What if this causes too much trouble? What if? So instead you play it safe, and instead you know, you don't make a move and nothing changes. But I can see that you're trying to maybe gather more information, but whatever this walking away energy is, it's one of, like I said, you've got the light there. There's something feeling the light. Just don't get caught up in this light. And what I mean by that, deceit energy, magician in the mirror, could be someone who's a bit dodge, you know, not everything is what it seems. So just whatever's going on here, trust that, okay? Trust in yourself. Because the sixth chakra with the action energy is the visions, the feeling, the ideas that are coming in that cause a bit of poise and understanding is what the direction it's asking you to go. Action energy, yep, chariot energy, Cancerian energy, discipline energy, going after what you want. But think of Aries. We're in Aries season. It's about going after what you want. But the sixth chakra is also about what you see for yourself, what you envision for yourself, and making, you know, the connection to go do that, the steps you need to take to go do that. You've had some strategy in play. You've had some understanding around something. I think you've already done the work behind the scenes, Pisces. So what are these things here that you're not trusting? What are these things here that you perhaps need to let go just a little bit instead of trying to make things happen, allow to happen? But the happening happens, the happening happens when we just go do and see what comes with it, okay? It's not, yeah. Sometimes there's forced energy, and you know when it's forced energy. It's that person trying too fucking hard. Excuse my language, sorry. I don't even know why that came out that way. But you know, sorry, how sometimes there's just people that are obsessed to a degree that it is suffocating and engulfing. And then, you know when that person's around you, you probably get the ick and want to run really far away. And then sometimes there's those people that, you know, you're trying to do something and you're just watching this play out where it's every narrative, every situation is just being controlled in some way. Like, you know it when you're in it or around it. I think it's important to reflect on that. There's something about it, but I think there's also this part of what if something is let go just a little bit and get back to what you have learned, what you have had cover, and the plan, some plan that you've had, but you seem to be worried about it. And that's what I just want you to kind of check in for yourself here, what that is about, what's coming up here. If you're doing the same thing, staying still, thinking the same way, and you want to make progress, this is what needs to change, okay? And sometimes that's not easy, especially if we've felt like we're in a rut, things aren't happening for us, all those things. The more that we stay stuck in that energy, we've got to shift it somehow, whether that's going for a walk, whether it's every time some stress energy comes into our mind, okay, talking to ourselves, why is this coming up? What am I feeling? Are you willing to really look at it and change that thinking? You know, and I mean, It's not an easy thing to do, but it can be pretty easy if we're willing to be aware of these things that are happening in us, around us, to be able to do that, okay? I know some people are fortunate to be able to witness themselves, and some people don't. Some people have more of a victim mentality, or everything is doom and gloom, you know. And this is where this energy constantly sits in. You're on a healing journey. You want to make life better. You look at tarot to get an answer, but you're constantly looking at the lack or the problems. How can we change that? And I know for a lot of you Pisces, you are very connected to yourself. You are quite aware of yourself and what's going on around you. But there's also a time to go, I know no time is perfect. So what about now? Because whatever you're walking away from, it's like a little challenge, a little dare. There's a little dare going on here somewhere along the way and along the path to go, watch me do this, watch me make this happen. And I love that for you, right? I really love that. So if you're getting visions or have a vision for self, again, recalibrate it to the vision you want. And that's where the action happens. That's where the fun happens. That's where the journey and that experience takes a whole different turn here. I'm going to pull out some cards here in terms of the storm warning, because I do feel there's a little bit more going on here that you need to be aware of. So let's see what that is about. Let's see what that is about, and then we'll get into it. What do we need to know, Spirit? Tell us more about this storm warning energy. Okay. So you've got the world energy coming out, which is quite interesting here. So there is something that wants to change. There could be a challenge here if some of you are looking to travel or relocate or move or go, again, a very different direction. It just seems that with this change is causing a challenge. But at the same time, there's this back and forth in thinking or understanding of something. And I feel this has been a slow moving progress, but it's been a very push-pull energy, whatever this is with this Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles energy. Because this is push-pull, but this is solid ground. But there's challenging in thinking, and challenging is this where I want to be, build and grow. But then you've got the King of Cups, which is feeling connected, or feeling connected to something or someone on a deeper level. But maybe that's what's challenging. You know, there could be an energy here challenging that, making you question that. Is this what love is for something? Is this what deep care is for something? Oh, but it's pretty rock solid in other ways. I don't know. I think there's a kind of some juggling energy going on in terms of the balance. It feels good, then it doesn't feel good. It feels good, it doesn't feel good. Or emotionally, something's taking over. Emotionally, but from a mental front is challenging you. So I'm going to go back to this anxiety energy. Yes, Seven of Wands. Yeah, so this is not being comfortable potentially here, Pisces, because the anxiety is in the headspace. So it's thoughts that are coming through, okay, that are passing through. And with this, you've got the Seven of Wands and the Empress energy. So you're either feeling blocked to create or what to start or how to start something. But there's also could be not feeling how do I put this? Maybe not feeling ready. But I feel you're being asked here to have a little courage here. What do we need to know from this strategic energy? What does Pisces need to know to really make this? What does Pisces need to know? Wow, there's a lot of cards here, and I'm going to take them. I wouldn't normally take it, but this is something to do with your past. So there's a pretty strong story here. Okay. So what I feel is happening here, Pisces, is that Someone could be questioning a dynamic, and take whatever the dynamic is, whatever type of relationship, situation here, person, place, thing. It seems like that you've been healing from a situation, but you could have been reconnected to something else, okay? But you could have been going through a lot of change, a lot of restructuring around a connection. But I feel like you got to a good place around something, around an opportunity, a relationship, but something changed. And intuitively, as part of that, whatever changed, I think intuitively you knew something was amiss or something wasn't right. And maybe there was another energy involved which caused an ending, okay? So if you're going towards a direction to rebuild, to recreate, there could be this part of not always feeling balance, because whatever comes up, and balance is within self, okay? This is what it feels like. Whatever is coming towards you or you're reflecting upon, I feel you get caught in a little bit of a cycle here of, it's not necessarily trusting, but it's not feeling at peace with it. And you're probably aware that these feelings come up within you and these thoughts, but when you finally get some balance, it's like there's a new challenge that's put in front of you that you've got to manage. People seeing things differently, or what you should be actually doing to make something happen here. But it feels like there was a breakdown in a connection, or you found yourself in a situation where you went through a pretty significant healing period. And a part of this healing period, I feel like there was, you know, a strong light or a strong understanding around a connection or around an opportunity, but something was amiss. And like I said, I feel like something got revealed, you learned something, and there was an ending to it, okay? And you're still working through this. It feels older energy. It doesn't feel new energy, okay? It feels older energy, but the fragments are still connected to your story, right? The fragments of this, the collateral damage of this is still connected to your story. And I feel this part of you, again, something feels uneasy. So I don't know if someone's traveling or there's a bit of directional change that's happening and occurring. And it may be questioning your love or someone's love for you, love for something. And it brings this push-pull energy. But at the same time, this is actually pretty rock solid. I'm just going to say, don't be too hasty at the moment, other than just assess a little bit more, look a little bit more. And you know what too, Pisces? I think sometimes it's just a matter of, what do you want to do, and go do it and see what unfolds. Obviously do it in the best interest of yourself on getting to a place that is more meaningful. Yeah, sometimes walking away from something is not ideal at first because it causes a lot of change. But maybe sometimes we need to walk away from the way that we think about something, because that's what brings us the peace. And this is what could be happening. You keep getting trapped into this thought process around a situation that keeps challenging you from creating or from becoming or from doing something, because you don't want something else to play out. When you finally get at peace, there's this part of you that's fighting. And again, it could be fighting how you see things. It could be fighting the way someone's doing something that just doesn't feel in integrity for you or feels out of balance. And because it's it feels uncomfortable. But I don't know if that, again, that's your truth. But if we broke it down a little bit, is that the truth? Maybe you're questioning, am I not listening to my intuition again? You know? But there's something here you could and may need to walk away in terms of your thinking, which will really support you going forward. Because you have this sixth chakra energy, which is, you know, the highest energy in terms of direction, feeling the direction, feeling your dreams, thoughts, feeling things that you put out there is kind of what you manifest. But the big part of that is taking action. So I feel that's really, really credible here for you. And just, yeah, be careful what you're manifesting and how you're thinking, right? Because it all relates. Doesn't matter which side of the coin it is, it all relates, you know. But also trust in it here. I'm going to leave it there, friend. I'll catch you later. Bye now.